Have you guys seen
every thing.
Infinity
The
War?
stream is live, guys.
Oh
Oh,
boy.
already? Okay.
The
Awesome.
question though, quick, have you guys seen Infinity War?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Alright, yeah,
No.
we got one yes.
Yes.
Do you mind spoilers? Actually, you know what? You can just not look at it.
I've seen it.
Alright, this is not for Yark.
Okay.
Just don't look at it.
It's still tempting to click everything just because I'm able to click it.
It is tempting. Damn it. Is it spoilers for York or everyone?
It's spoilers for the video, for the movie.
Oh, no, I don't care about movies.
I don't want to say anything, but I'll message you something.
Alright. And I'm gonna have my own music going, of course. Right now. Listen.
Shit. Of course. Damn it.
I don't know how many of these D&D memes I already sent, but I feel like I've been slacking these past couple weeks.
Fair enough.
I recognize that does a 27 hit. I recognize that
That was
one.
a strange thing to ask. The last one, though, speaks to me on a spiritual level.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, I had an encounter like that pretty recently, actually. I think it was 2 Saturdays ago, where I was in a game where my barbarian, level 5, took half his HP in one hit while enraged. And then the enemy we were fighting hit again. One round, one enemy. My barbarian was down to single digits from full. And it was necrotic damage.
Oh.
So we all looked at the DM and said, "What is that?" And the DM said, "You know, I don't think I did this right."
Something is wrong here.
Hold on.
Yeah, no kidding, DM. No
I've got-
fucking kidding.
I've got the perfect picture if I can find it.
This was a triumph.
I love this song.
I do too.
It's hard to overstate my satisfaction. I put your
Hi.
Ooh.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hello.
we must because we can. For the good of all of us, except the ones who are dead.
Oh, I found it.
No sense crying over every mistake. You just keep on trying till you run out of cake. And the science gets done, and you make a neat gun for the people who are still alive. I'm not even angry. I'm being so sincere right now. Even though you broke my heart and
You can just turn down the music a little bit on our end.
As they burned, it hurt because I was so happy for you. Now these boys
Zim needs to be distracted.
beautiful lines, and we're out of beta, we're
I don't want to turn it down so too much on this section.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Power Stone, and everyone else here. I
Power
see,
Stone.
I can only see a certain number of names on the screen. Eisen. How Royal
good people.
Highness. The one in the
What
dark
good
purple
people.
name I can't even read.
Don't forget, guys, if you have any questions for
Hello.
anybody, you
How you
can
doing,
ask
Ray?
them now.
Also,
You guys,
hi
you
Ray.
guys ready for some sweet, high-quality morning voice?
No.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy. Okay.
Okay.
Shit.
Okay. I'm Ray.
Dusty. Dusty 100% enjoys being Dusty, Power Stone. There isn't a day he regrets, only actions that happen to him due to unforeseeable consequences.
And unforeseeable and unavoidable.
Or foresee
Completely.
consequences.
Or foreseeable and entirely avoidable consequences. All the above.
Well, not to him. He just wonders, if he puts his hand in a guillotine and his hand gets cut off, how could this have happened?
Is Anir here? I have a question to ask. Yes, Anir. Anir, how often do you use the Zim T-Sip emote? Because I don't think you've used it before.
He doesn't
At least
have a
not the-
subscription.
Oh, I thought that was that's not a Frankerface Z one? Oh, right.
As I've been adding them to the channel, I remove them from the Franker faces.
I see. Okay. Never mind then. Answers my question. Powerstone says as the coin thing is missing again.
I see that. Checking on it. This is not where I wanted to be. Please don't play. Please don't play. Thank you. Why are you attacking me, Ajax?
Because you're
I'm gonna start bosses and heists right from the start.
the big old double whammy. Uh-oh.
We're stealing from the boss.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna fight a giant monster while also taking all the treasure.
Having a mini D&D game.
Just get me in on all of that. Just...
Hey, I'm almost up to a free sticker.
And Nier wants to boop Dusty sometime. Dusty is perfectly boopable.
Hey, 15 viewers a second ago. That's nice.
Not bad. Oh, Sim just gave Power Stone some coins. Nice.
Nice.
Nice. Good chunk,
Aw.
too.
Oh, yeah, Power Stone. I showed them that you got the Dova t-shirt.
Ah.
I am honored
Dova is a very big fan of the
to know that
t-shirt.
my beautiful face is on somebody else's chest is amazing.
What about the tattoo I got of you on my chest?
That's kind of creepy.
I like
That's
I
a
like
little
that
too far.
That's a little too far.
I like that one significantly less.
Well, consider Dova is now with you when you're naked.
Power Stone's wearing it right now.
Hey. I'm in Power Stone's room actually.
Oh,
Buying.
Yeah.
what?
the,
Well.
the eyes on every t-shirt
Yeah.
are linked directly to you.
Yep.
They
Lot of
glow
them are
like
in box.
hell. No, but he is. You bought his shirt. You know what you did.
You know, you guys
Really?
could buy a gift a subscription to Nier. Let him enjoy being using the T-sip emote.
I was thinking about it.
Considerations.
I did at one point, but then it put a permanent thing on my, or a temporary thing on my, like one of those badges saying I was a gift subscriber gifter thing, and I'm like, that just feels wrong to do on your own channel.
Yeah, there's a lot of them that do it. People on Twitch that do it for certain reasons, like view count or follow or sub trains.
I guess. Maybe I
Thanks to the
will
community.
eventually, but right now I am broke. Anyways, hello everyone. Welcome to the stream.
Champion returns. Welcome home.
Well, thank you.
20 months, can anyone
A
beat?
timely reappearance. The dungeon.
What was that, Ray?
awaits.
The 20-month subscription.
Whoa.
Yeah, 20 months in a row. Thank you so
Not in a row.
much. Well, you know. And Cobalt, thank you for gifting that to Anir. And now you may enjoy the glory that is the T-sip.
I feel if anyone should be able to use that emote in the entire community, it's Anir.
I
This
mean,
is
I
true.
did
He's
mostly
king,
get
yeah.
that emote. I did mostly get that emote for him.
Yeah, I thought so.
But
He
anyways,
doesn't drink hot tea.
yes, I do.
Never once seen you drink hot tea. Maybe like chai tea.
It's hot tea, isn't it?
Yeah. I also. I mean, I've lately been going to Bass's before they close and grabbing a tea from there. Last week I had a nice peppermint tea.
I have Ghirardelli hot chocolate there. It's real good.
And yeah, you can use the tea sip emote. We cannot begin until you do.
Watching Nier just take off right now. It's like, oh, I gotta go.
Bye.
You can't start. Oh, we cancel the session here, guys.
And then, yeah, we cancel the next few sessions until it expires.
Why do we make this rule?
Start the game already!
Yeah, exactly. I know, right?
Fine. There we go. All right, everyone.
right.
Thank you all so much for joining. I am
All right, everybody.
Razim. This is Echoes of Eberron Dungeons and Dragons.
All right, everybody.
I will turn it over to Mickey Mouse now.
All right, everybody.
All right, everybody. So.
All right, everybody.
All right, everybody. So.
Okay, everybody.
All right. So.
Oh boy, everyone.
Someone has to put an end to this, but it's not me.
All right, everybody. Let's put a stop to this.
All right, everybody.
All right, everybody, calm
No.
down. Everybody.
Why did
We
I feel
didn't
like
start.
that one wasn't on purpose?
I'm trying to think of a way to get into it without saying so. Or all right.
You
Everybody.
said both.
Last session.
So, all right, everybody.
That's all right. That's a beginning without all right or so.
Hmm.
You guys last session had navigated through a little bit of the Mournlands on your way out, but before you could make it back to the trail, the only concrete sort of terrain which you guys have seen in the Mournlands, a vicious sandstorm erupted, kind of swept over you. And you were forced to kind of wade through this unending, abrasive sands towards hopefully the rest of the regular world. But unfortunately, that really didn't happen, as you accidentally provoked a quite large undead swarm. And were fighting back, and you feel you're doing quite well, but you were on the verge of being overrun with Dusty unconscious, very close to the swarm proper, and with many of you on very low HP.
The risk was calculated, but he
Yeah.
never did math in his life.
Yeah, you guys are real bad at math. Along with the fact that Blue is still dead. That is still a thing. You were in the nick of time. You were rescued by a sky coach, basically a what appeared to be a something about the size of a small, rather a large rowboat. Enchanted in some way that it channeled the winds around it, whipping the air in a frenzied rage and kind of keeping it pushed off the ground. And aboard that was a detachment of undead soldiers who fought back the hostile horde and offered you a chance at safety. And we ended off last session as you guys lifted off the two ships, one carrying the unconscious or the stabilized Dusty, and the other one carrying the rest of you, rocketing off into much stronger winds for a brief moment, but then peeking out above the clouds and getting the first view at genuine sunlight in a long, long time. As your ears, you feel a great pressure come from inside your ears. Some of you kind of instinctually yawn as the pressure equalizes, and you kind of blink, and you have to shield your eyes from the intense glare, especially those who are more accustomed to darkness, yeah. Especially Yark. You're hit really hard with that.
Just a straight beam in my face.
My eyes. That was a SpongeBob reference. Anyways.
Yes, I got that one. I was wondering if I should go off of it or just let it slow me.
Just
my eyes, bald,
bald.
thinning.
Oh fuck! I forgot about that part. That interjection. Oh, Anyways, you guys are approaching the gigantic airship, which you had been attacked while you kind of met up in the city of Nathir. This is also where you met Blue. So really everyone coming together, except for the gelatinous cube, which is still on the ground, by the way. But that's neither here nor there. Where's my images? There it is. Is it too big?
It's fine for me.
All right, perfect.
Oh my god, it's so
Yeah.
big.
That's
It
the
is-
airship what bombed us.
Yep. And that is what you are heading towards.
What's it circling?
The circle around it appears to be a glowing red ring of something. You're not quite sure from the distance.
Maybe
It's
a
a bad
fire.
decisions.
You've seen, you haven't really seen, but you've heard of various airships in this realm, in these lands, using a band of compressed and enslaved fire elementals to either keep it upright or to propel it along. But usually the diameter of those is maybe 100 feet across, or 100 feet across at the very, very largest. It's hard to tell distance from this thing, but as you're getting closer and closer, and as it's getting larger and larger and larger, you estimate that that's at least 1 kilometer across.
How much is that in American?
I don't care.
Okay. I think it's
1.6.
1.6.
Yes. I think it's so that would be what? 0.6 miles? 0.7? Something like that.
Third is what it is.
Yeah, a communist, that's what it is. No, wait, no. Capitalist. I'm sorry, I'm going the wrong way.
What? Hold on.
Either way, it is 100, it is at least 100 meters across. That's like at least a bunch of feet, alright? Just settle down.
Hey, it's 100 liters across.
It's like two steps.
Hey, what's the date in the Imperial system today?
I don't even know what normal today's date is.
It's October 1st, but what is it in the metric system?
Either
That's
way, it's
the-
the beginning of the spoopy times.
Ah,
Yeah, it's
shit.
it's the first day that's acceptable to put up Halloween decorations.
There you
It's
go.
the first day of the beginning of the end.
It's about it's at least 3,280 feet across.
Okay,
Thank you.
Dova.
I
What?
thank you.
Thank you,
Chad,
Isaac.
Thank you. Yep, Eisen. Thank you very much for the unit conversion. Anyways, so guys, all right.
Yes.
So, anyways, so you guys are headed towards this thing. Is there anything that you want to say during the? And actually, in all honesty, it's very loud. None of you guys have been this high up.
What?
So everybody go ahead and give me a wisdom saving throw.
Colors are really loud.
What?
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 Ah, you know what? That makes sense.
Yeah, honestly.
Turns out just about everybody except for Inun is terrified of heights.
Well,
At
I
least
mean-
these heights.
I mean,
Dusty,
how
you're
often,
still unconscious.
how
Fair enough.
how often are we up this high?
Never.
Exactly. I mean, Zerth is usually the most grounded out of all of us.
Hmm
I go
He's underwater.
below the land,
Yeah.
not above the land.
Sometimes equal to the land, but not always.
I just picture Earth doing that thing what dogs do in the back of a car when they just kind of slide from back and forth.
I thought he was like pressed really hard against the bottom of the floor of the ship or something.
Oh yeah, they're just
He-
spread out.
Just like flat.
He's sprawled out like a melted marshmallow.
Yeah, we had some pretty tall trees in the Elden Reaches.
It's true. It's not as high as this, but it really still applies, I guess.
Yark hearing this while
Have you ever
wrapped
been to the
completely
Towering
around.
Wood?
Sorry?
Have you ever been to the Towering Wood? Pretty tall there.
No, but I've been to the Wispy Woods.
Yark listening to Noon talk about this while wrapped around one of those hand bars that reach from the top to the bottom. That's nice.
All right. So, after
Is there a below decks?
on this little,
We're at dinghy right now, right?
basically,
Oh.
it's a little more than a landing craft, is what you're on at the moment.
Okay, yeah. Sindel is on. Yeah, no.
90% of the group just like, nope, not having it. This is not fun. Take us back to the zombies. We could handle that.
Now hold on just a moment. I don't know if I go that far.
I would just flat to the ground as he's just doing like a hermit crab crawl, slowly scooting. I am not used to being this high. I do not like it.
If alligators were meant to fly, we'd be dragons.
Exactly.
All right. After about 5 minutes of flight, at understandably blistering speeds, you guys are starting to feel a little bit cold, a little bit ragged, but thankfully the landing craft appears to be getting close. And as you get closer and closer, you realize the full scale of this thing. It seems entirely constructed of a rather shiny but also kind of matte, dullish gray metal. And where on this image where kind of those propellers are, instead it has these whirling rings of what you would probably estimate to be air elementals, kind of similar to some of the seagoing vessels. Actually, they have either air elementals or water elementals kind of chained up and confined to provide locomotion, and this is kind of the same sort of aspect, but each one is maybe 100 feet across. Each one would normally be used to propel a large ship. And there's, 6 of the smaller ones, and then these 2 gargantuan ones. And in between those 2 is actually where you're kind of coming into land. There's a number of these cavernous openings in the underside, and kind of on the back, and right on the top in the middle. You can see down below you is this gigantic flat plain. The tremendous wing of this thing is it's almost like looking at an entire city, just of space. And as you get closer and closer to this little landing pad right on the top, kind of recessed from the wing as the airship continues forwards, you notice that kind of lurking by the sides in the shadows are a large number of the humanoid figures, dressed in this kind of simplistic uniform, very similar to the ones of the soldiers that are flanking you on either side. And as things have slowed down quite a bit, the commander of this detachment, the one with the kind of very flat, featureless mask with the two little eye holes, is going to reach in a small compartment, just kind of like almost right in the middle of the landing craft, below one of the bench seats, and he's going to pull out a handful of very simple medallions, basically just an iron circle with a handful of runic inscriptions on it. And he's going to say to you, his voice quite strong, even in the loud winds. He's going to say, "I advise that each of you wear one of these and keep them on at all times, while I can control the urges of my soldiers in my immediate presence. There's simply too many of them to control at one time for just me alone. These will mark you as allies for your time aboard the vessel."
Can I do an insight check?
Go ahead.
I'm just gonna straight put one on, and how well does it fit me?
It is fairly large, but you can basically just readjust the strap on the back. It's a fairly simplistic leather, basically a leather string with a handful of or with two knots on the back that just kind of cinch over each other. You can kind of pull it up a little tighter.
Okay, cool. Does it on a scale of 1 to goofy? How goofy does it look?
Not too bad. They're about the size of a coin, so it's not like this giant like dinner plate.
Oh, I thought I was picturing like those military rounded caps kind of thing.
The dog tags, you mean?
No, no. Oh, there's a necklace?
Yeah.
Oh, for some
What are
reason
you
I thought
thinking
you said
of?
a hat.
No. Medallion.
Oh, interesting. I wonder. I either heard hat or cap. One of those things, and that's what made me. Anyway, continue.
All right. So, Zerth.
Yes.
He seems to be telling the truth, but he's not saying everything. He's omitting something.
Mm.
But you're not sure whether it's malicious or not.
I'll take it and look at it as I'm sprawled to the ground and go, "This isn't going to turn us into one of those undead or have you control us, is it?" As he's looking directly, well, from the floor up at his eyes.
He's going to say, no. It's a little bit more complicated than that.
Mm.
You can do another insight check if you wish. That's definitely the full truth.
He's just going to nail his eyes as he puts it on.
All right. You feel no discernible difference.
Sinnoh will go ahead and put his on as well.
All right. Ken kind of slips right over. Doesn't feel warm to the touch or anything. Feels like just kind of a metal medallion. All right. Dusty, you're unconscious, but you don't really get a choice anyways, so. Sinnoh's got one on. What about you, Anun?
I'll put it on.
All right. All right. The vessel continues on, kind of shakes and shudders for a bit as it passes through the wind stream into the calm leeward side of this little recess into the top of the vessel. And as the little spring-loaded skids on either side kind of bump and skid to a stop, the detachment around you jumps out and starts attaching ropes and hooks to various little metal eyes in the ground and basically secure it in place. as the leader gets off and kind of motions for you to follow him off.
I'll noodle my way.
All right.
Go for the eyes.
As you step on the ground of this, it's remarkably smooth. If it weren't for the rather loud sound of wind whipping past way over your head and the very noticeable humming kind of resonating up through your feet, it'd almost be like standing on solid ground. But you kind of wiggle your way on all fours, very reminiscent of a crocodile in nature. Are you carrying Blue? Who's carrying Blue?
I am.
All right,
like
you just got him
statues
on your
back.
back.
Yeah.
All right. You wiggle your way in, and eventually the leader kind of brings you into a waiting area. Basically, the door opens in front of you, and you see a very plush, basically a foyer. The door you actually enter is offset from these handfuls of corridors, just leading off into almost pure darkness with these undead soldiers kind of peering out. You can see little glints of light from their eyes as it reflects from the very bright light around you. All right. Game-breaking influence. Cool. I will await that.
Cool.
Cool.
Ah.
I will await that.
Is that in here?
It was.
No, it was Power Stone.
Sorry, no, it was Power Stone.
Oh,
Um,
really?
Yep. I'm
I've
interested.
told Power Stone message Dova outside the game for this particular influence, and he can decide whether to accept or deny it then.
Yep. Just send me a message over Discord. All right. The interior here, as the door shuts behind you, two of the actually probably just one of the soldiers carrying Dusty in. He just wordlessly stares at you, completely unmoving. And as things calm down, Enun, you notice that there's no distinct smell that would indicate this is this is an undead. It's very subtle things that really only you notice about him. He's wearing a faceplate. He's wearing basically half plate armor, gloves. Really no skin showing at all.
Can I do sort of a more specific Arcana check to just assess the mimicry of life in this thing?
Go ahead and make an Arcana
undead
check.
is.
Yeah.
It's
All right.
Can a zombie learn to love if it's only a mimicry of life?
yeah, 'cause if it
It can
learns to
mimic
love,
it.
it comes back to life. Have you seen the movie?
Which one?
Is it Warm Bodies?
Warm bodies.
Warm
Something like
Bodies
that.
is the weirdest zombie movie I've ever seen, but it's also one of the best because of that.
Yeah. So as you kind of tune yourself into the enchantment, the necrotic energies of this undead, you kind of get a feeling that this is a very high quality enchantment. It definitely is a zombie, as it were. It doesn't really have too much free will, but it is imbued with a lot of cognitive power, magic's enhancing its strength and lifespan, but it is functionally dead. And he's currently holding Dusty, basically just in his arms, full on bride carry.
I'm following him very closely.
Are you actually standing now?
On all fours.
You've tracked in
that's-
quite a lot of sand, by the way.
Yes.
And the
I'm wait-
And
the
it's
leader is just kind of stares at the trail for a moment before looking back to you, and he says, "The captain of this vessel has offered you quarters until the journey is complete. He will speak to you later about where you wish to go, about where the vessel is heading. I will speak to you briefly here just to give you an introduction and just to brief you on the rules of being aboard his vessel. The first and primary rule: do not break anything. Second rule: do not stray from these quarters, as not even those amulets that you have in your possession have control all over the vessel. And rule number 3, please respect his image. While he is not a vain captain, he does demand respect from all who are aboard. Of course, failure to comply with one or all of these rules will result in stranding. We won't throw you off. We'll give you a ride to wherever we are. Are there any questions?
Seeing how you saved us, I do have some particular questions for him. But I will respect your rules, and I will make sure our party does the same. As Zerth looks at the party.
And Dusty?
I will take responsibility for my son. He will be on his utmost prime behavior.
He kind of looks a few times between you and Dusty when you say your son.
I knew he would.
How did this happen?
He gets it from his mother's side.
And Dusty, at this point, that would have been enough for a short rest. So if you want to spend hit dice to become conscious again, you may.
Also,
I have been mentioned.
You sense somebody talking about you, and
why
you
do I feel
slowly stir, and everything hurts.
Why do I feel
You're
Zerth
very
staring at me?
dizzy, and you're being held by a very strange, kind of cold soldier guy. Who just
You are not the cold-blooded one I know. Put me down or I shall punch your face. Put me down or I shall punch your face.
The leader up in front kind of waves his hand towards the undead. He complies and kind of gently puts you down on the ground, gives a very stiff bow, and then leaves.
He does not rise from the floor. I
will-
need... You know what I need.
Zerth is gonna walk over forward, grab him by the scruff of his neck in his jaws, and just kind of drag him and put him on his back.
This is the love I crave.
On top or under blue?
Just carrying him under.
Dusty just groans. This is the love I desire.
Go ahead and give me a strength check. Zerth.
Dusty weighs next to nothing. Well, but that
That's true.
passes.
He does weigh next to nothing, and you guys are very light on supplies, especially water. So there you go.
It's the fatherly love
Mhm.
carrying his son.
The leader looks
Fatherly
at you
love,
and he
says
says,
the 14-year-old.
he says to you, "Now, since there are no other passengers, I will give you the freedom of choosing your own room. However, please do keep the rule in mind where you mustn't break anything. But if you do need medical supplies or any other outside aid that is not included within these quarters, please let one of the Warforged butlers know. They will see to your request summarily. And as if on cue, a handful, about 4 or 5, very delicate-looking Warforged are. You can kind of see them just around the corner of the grand staircase. You can see them up on the upper levels as they towel kind of just above their or on their forearm, give a slight bow. And on the other side, of course, are the same amount of you know that they're not really female, but it's basically just maids, as they give a kind of a curtsy before scuttling off to continue whatever various duties they were doing before.
Are all these rooms the same size?
You haven't really gone in. Is that a question you ask him, or?
That's just me. As Zerth would just go straight to a room, just kind of look around.
Okay. Looking inside each room, they're kind of laid out. Basically, there's this large foyer leading to a grand staircase. It's fairly clear to tell where you can and can't go, as some of the doors are very, very firmly locked. But the doors that are unlocked, as you open them up, you see there's quite a few bedrooms, about 12 or 20. There's 20. I shouldn't be guesstimating that amount, but 20 bedrooms. Each one is quite large with its own enclosed, very kind of a simple water closet, but a very big plush bed. There's a dresser with a large selection of fancy clothes in a style that none of you really recognize. The whole kind of fashion and style of the place, architecture-wise, you guys really never seen before. Especially considering that not many of you, I don't think any of you really come from luxury.
Nope.
Yark, you might have been in one of the fancier House Galenda-owned dining halls, but that's really it.
Also, every once in a while, he'll go to a fancy place for like private chef stuff, like learn from private chefs.
And you kind of have an idea of what the fancy architecture looks like in kind of the Breland area. But this is a style that's very clearly different. It has a lot more kind of free curves. There's just a lot more smooth lines. These long curving carvings in the and reliefs kind of in the wall, in the trim, in the banisters, and a lot of kind of dark, very rich wood. But looking around further, you find a dining room and a grand table with what looks to be about 40 seats. There's a very large kitchen, and at the moment, it's a flurry of activity as four of the Warforged staff are currently cooking a meal. It doesn't look very big, but it smells fantastic, and you almost kind of buckle at the knees as you're kind of assaulted by this wave of fantastic, the scent of baking bread, smell of sautéing onions and garlic and roasting meats, and it's almost too much too soon. There's a full bath suite with a very large kind of a public bath, along with a full trio of kind of cold pools, basically kind of a Roman style open bath, and there is in fact the sauna, kind of laid out in the corner. As you open the door, you're just assaulted by a wave of heat before you close it again.
The sauna sounds nice. Definitely a departure from the frozen tundra.
Oh yeah. In fact, right now you guys are feeling quite tired. The plush interior and the warmth and the just the calmness and quiet is almost assaulting to your ears. Very brief, distant ringing sound, almost constantly in here, but it's slowly fading away, giving way to that deep rumble that you're kind of feeling around you and through your feet.
I'm gonna drag Dusty into a room and close it with my tail.
Yes.
And is there like a tub in these rooms, or just like a normal half bath?
Not really. There's no private baths in these rooms.
Okay. I'm gonna crawl into bed and just drop him.
I feel like Zerth's also going to spend a lot of time in the big public baths. Because, you know, big water.
Probably. I can't confirm nor deny. And he'll look to his son, and he'll go over the rules with him. And go, as much as I don't trust them, they did help us out to the vine. For now, we will play nice, but keep an eye out.
Dusty?
Well, Dusty's just going to lay in the bed and look at his wounds for the most part and see if there's still any arrows inside him. Maybe arrowheads. Those arrows weren't very good quality after all. It wouldn't be a surprise if they broke.
There is actually one arrowhead in your back, actually. And you feel it as you're kind of moving your arm around, kind of grinds a little bit. It's like, oh, Jesus.
Okay, that leaves now. Okay, then. Where are my tweezers? Doctor, operate on thyself. Doctor, operate.
I'll watch and help if need be.
I'll watch.
Go ahead and give me a medicine check.
Okay. You know, I really should train that sometime because Dusty is at least theoretical surgeon.
Ooh.
Nope. Yeah, he's gonna need to train that someday. He's not used to living corpses.
You actually managed to get it a little bit deeper as the muscles in your shoulder kind of contract and seize up on it, pushing it deeper into your back. And you feel it's definitely in contact with your shoulder blade right now, as you feel a distinct grinding noise whenever you move your arm.
Dad, help, Dad.
I'll go ahead and operate.
He will produce a dagger.
You mean
Go
roll a
ahead
medicine
and
check?
go ahead and give me a medicine check.
Oh, I'm so good at that too.
It's deep. You don't really have very many tools available, but eventually, and with quite a bit of pain and blood kind of seeping everywhere, you manage to very slowly pick out the arrowhead in a few pieces. It actually breaks midway through, and it takes about 15 minutes to fish all the pieces out. Dusty, go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw. The combined strain from the day's activities, you getting hit with an arrow a few times, and then the pain of that whole shebang.
He just
Basically
raises his finger and says, "The hero retires," and
and you
falls.
pass out. All right. What about the rest of you? What are you guys doing?
Sinnel's going to be going and seeing if he can get the materials that he needs to bring DeSoda back.
All right. Go ahead and give me an investigation check. Just to basically scrounge through everything that you're given access to here. The pantry, various bouquets, and eventually you are actually able to find what you believe to be enough kind of essence to bring back that the wild soul that that resided within DeSoda. But you're not sure if it would be able to kind of respond in this location.
Oh.
But you have all the materials.
Alright, well, I'll add those to my inventory and do it when I think I can.
All right.
I'm going to have Zerth bring Blue to my room, and I'm an artificer, but I'm still a cook mostly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I work with machinery more often than I work with actual food, so I figure if anyone's going to put them back together, it'd probably be me. So I'm going to look over what's left of him and all the pieces I have, and then after I take inventory of that, I'm just going to sleep.
Yeah,
Alright.
I would have dropped off Blue, knowing that he's better at the mechanical sides than I am. I can heal bodies, not machines.
Mm-hmm.
And he seems to be more organic machine than organic.
So what's the damage? Now they can take an in-depth look.
You're looking at him, and it seems that... actually, give me an investigation and then an arcana check. If you don't have proficiency in either of these, you do for this.
Alright, well, luckily I have both.
Alright, so... now that everything's kind of calmed down, this is before you're going to bed, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, as you're looking very carefully at his remains, kind of scarred, kind of mangled up limbs and very faint, kind of heavy, actually, char marks on him. You start to kind of pick apart the little fibers and take a peek inside. And you can tell that he needs a jump start. That's at least one of the things he needs. He needs a jump start. He needs a lot of the kind of conduits, basically the analog to the nervous system that Warforged have. That needs to be basically go through that and basically sew it back together, and maybe even reroute some of the threads yourself by hand. That likely needs to be done. A lot of the skeleton, the very dense adamantine skeleton, that needs to be at least splinted together. Really, that's the main thing. The skeleton isn't too hard by your own estimation. The nervous system, the figuring out where all those threads go, that would be tedious and kind of precise work, but within your skills. but giving him a jump start or getting that kind of energy of life back into him, you're still not quite sure how to do that.
Positive to positive, negative to ground, Dova. It's not that hard.
That's jump starting. Well, actually, you have to invent a battery first.
Oh, jeez.
You have to invent electricity.
So
I
two
mean,
steps.
Yeah.
Anun knows how to shove life force into things that don't want it,
Woo.
That's true.
or
This might be a- might be-
or unable to accept it.
I mean, honestly, if there's any two specialities that will create a warforge, it would probably be an artificer and a necromancer.
But right,
Mm,
mimicry of life if it's not actually alive.
yeah.
And you got machines to keep it together.
Anyways, so
And then I go to sleep.
all right. I think that's everyone except Anun. What are you doing?
Ogling
Kinda-
at the quality of these undead.
Kind of that, yeah. Anun was sitting there, kind of wondering if there was maybe a more powerful spell, or the components in which the spell was cast were, a nice grade A filet mignon flesh.
Points to the captain. How can I do one of that?
Some finely mortar and pestle bone dust.
Can I get me one of that?
Blood that went through a Brita, nice and pure.
Oh yeah.
Twice sifted.
Finally aged. Is that it?
Yeah, maybe wandering around the area, seeing what kind of sort of library in this posh area.
There would be a study along with a reading area. It contains what appears to be a billiards table, along
Ooh.
with a quite decent selection of reading material, both kind of adventure novels. There are some textbook, but this is mostly kind of for pleasure reading. And most of the library is in Syrian.
For beings without life, these guys really know how to live.
I mean, the place
Yeah,
around you
so-
is it's almost too pristine. You're getting the distinct
You-
impression
The corpses aren't.
that a lot of this stuff hasn't been used before.
Interesting.
Can I do? No, I don't know if my I don't know if if Anun has the right reason to think that. So never mind.
You can PM me.
No, it doesn't matter. I was gonna see if Anun can check to see if because not even the bodies are decomposing, the ship is perfect, because it kind of seems like the White Glove Society. That's the best way that I can describe it.
I mean, you did smell roasting meat.
Oh, jeez. I mean, hey, it's not a cannibalism if you're a fox.
That's true. None of you guys would be humans.
It's so
Fair
funny
enough.
because in one of my earlier games of D&D, I think I was a half elf and the other person was an orc, and we were eating a human. And he was like, and DM was like, "Yeah, cannibalism." And I was like, "Well, I mean, technically not a human."
I mean, to a point, they're all sentient and sapient creatures. So I think that's definitely a
Uncomfortable
faux pas.
topic.
Yeah, a party foul if there ever was one. And inside this reading room, by the way, the wall that's kind of facing your direction of travel is a gigantic, looks like a segmented window. You don't hear the sound of wind outside like you would expect. And all you can see right now is just an endless expanse of puffy white clouds below you. There's a handful that are above these kind of wispy, flat um, clouds, but otherwise you're pretty much above the clouds. And kind of just on your own estimation, you're definitely not at the front.
Anun's going to poke his claw through the little hole in the first half of the window, pondering it. How there's the two pieces of glass and one of them has the hole in it. It's just like, why is this here? Okay.
Just settle down, okay?
he's gonna look for a bed.
All right. You managed to find an unoccupied room. So, you guys get a fantastic night of sleep. Night, day, really doesn't matter. It's like heaven. These beds are soft, they're warm. Cobalt.
Yes.
I mean,
Sorry.
after the
Oh my
nightmare
God.
we've had, I'm sure
Yark.
anything would feel better.
Yes.
You stir in the middle of the night, and you open your eyes, and it's kind of dim and dark at first, but eventually the sound comes back at you, whipping sands past the side of your face. It's cold. You look around you. You're in that little hidey hole behind that single wall, which you thought was nights ago. You're back there. It's, as far as you can tell, it's real.
You mean when we first found this ship?
No. This was back in the Mournlands during the sandstorm when you guys bedded down for the night behind that broken down wall. And everyone is around you, kind of in a fitful sleep, trying to get whatever rest they can.
He's gonna slam his fist against the ground and say, "God dang it!"
As you slam it into the sand, it's much softer than you expect, and you are stone awake in your bed. A comfy, full pillared bed inside the vessel.
He's gonna breathe a sigh of relief and say, "Wow, if this was a movie, that would have been the exact opposite."
But apparently that was a dream. Not the whole Mournlands part, but just that one. I bet you guys are feeling a sudden sense of dread right there.
I'm gonna
I'm having some flashbacks.
I'm gonna hug my stuffed bugbear and go back to sleep.
All right. Eventually, though, you all slowly drift back awake. Some of you a bit earlier than others, but all of you will gain a long rest.
I get hit points back.
Look at all those hit points. Look at all those spells.
My hit dice.
They exist.
Man.
Alright, I need to pull up my artificer list and
You also gain a level. So you guys should be what, level
6.
I need
Yeah.
to make sure
one.
that it's been giving me the right.
I get another item infusion.
I think you
What
get
the hell
second
am
level
I-
spells, bud.
Nah, I got second level spells last level.
Oh.
I really need
But,
a specific level up sound.
Mhm. I mean, that one's
one
not
of these
bad.
days.
All right, now and to check if I got more than average.
Oh, hey, Dova.
Yeah?
Wasn't there another thing, an influence thing, regarding my infusions or something?
I don't think so.
Hmm.
Boy, undead thralls. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
If you ever come across a body.
Yeah, because this one lets me race 2 at the same time.
You have to beat Zerth to it.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I throw myself at death all the time.
I
You will
mean,
become the
it just
thrall.
says I have to target a corpse. It doesn't have to be in great condition, so I can res it. And if you're eating it, it'll just squirm around inside of you. You'll probably spit that out.
Don't underestimate my stubbornness.
I'll have him punch you from the inside. It'll be like
Oh,
Drax.
by the way, Zerth, go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, yes.
What happened?
As you are kind of going about your morning prayers, you kind of bend over for a second, start coughing and coughing and coughing, and eventually it kind of ends, and you kind of look towards your hand where you've been covering your maw, and there's a little bit of blood in your palm.
Hmm.
That's concerning.
That's not good. Can I do a medicine check on myself?
Go ahead.
Oh,
Not
fine.
great rolls today.
Not quite sure, but you can probably guess that something's going wrong.
Father, I know. Eat this alchemist fire.
So, it looks like the Artificer actually got an update recently.
Yeah.
Because now I can choose. I used to only have Alchemist and Artillerist, but now there's
There's the Archivist.
and Battlesmith.
Though the Archivist is radical, but very, very niche.
Underpowered.
Yeah, but also
But
fantastic at the same time.
It's like utility, I'm
You have
guessing.
to restart
It's
your save
super
file to
utility.
get that.
Well, yeah, but I'm already Artillerist, so I'm
Yeah.
enjoying it so far.
Yeah, Artillerist is really good. Soon you're gonna get. I think you can make wands.
Right now,
Oh, there you go. And then you can change out.
cantrips
fire-
at level
your-
10.
Exactly. But by the way, each level you can change out cantrips.
Really?
Yep.
Oh
Every
no,
time you level up, you can change out one of your cantrips.
really? I thought that was
Yep.
only level spells.
No, that's not in the rules, but I mean, Dova
For-
can make his own
for
rules.
For the Artificer, that is especially one of the things that they can do.
What level?
Always. Every time you level up, you can change one of your cantrips.
When you gave a level in this class, you can place one art. Holy crap, man! That's awesome.
It's the coolest thing ever.
I wish I knew that the past 5 levels.
Well, now you know it.
Although Firebolt is like the best,
Hmm.
so I don't know if I would have.
I don't know what is afflicting me. Can I cast Lesser Restoration on me?
Sure.
I have to look at this Archivist thing, even though I'm not going to use it. It sounds cool.
Archivist, I'm playing one right now. It's interesting.
Is it a kobold?
No, it's a
Darn.
Warforged.
That's even more interesting.
Oh yeah. It's the class is super. It's very very utility and very niche.
Niche.
Niche, whatever.
Roof.
Bagel.
I
A
call
bagel,
I call
bagel.
things I call things bagel just for fun.
You give me a bag.
Bagel.
Sorry.
Sorry. Wait, is this a Canadian thing?
It's very hard to say sorry for me now. It just defaults to sorry. And I don't even notice it.
Can't think of.
That's a long cat. chat.
There's a long cat in chat. That
It's
is
a
a
long
long
cat
cat.
in chat.
It's a
Speaking of which,
cat.
my cat literally just walked across me. No care in the world.
I'm a huge fan of the Artificer, though. The whole artificial mind thing is super cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's your bonus action becomes a serious commodity if it isn't already, because you need it to move your artificial mind. You need it to cast some cantrips to attack. And yeah, but you can cast spells through it. It's very cool.
I remember Buweasels isn't in the chat, but I remember he did an influence for something for me a while back.
Yeah.
But I guess if he's not here, I can't produce any proof of it.
I'm stuck between two spells, but I'll worry about that in a second.
And you can also change them all out every long rest.
I can. It's amazing for clerics.
Go ahead and mark down that spell slot for a lesser restoration. As you make a brief prayer for cleansing to the fury, you feel very angry all of a sudden, and you kind of reach out with your fist and slam it down into your chest, almost involuntarily. As you do so, you kind of hack and cough some more, but eventually the coughing becomes smoother and more controllable until eventually it stops. And you look down. You're basically forced to close your eyes during that whole thing, and there's quite a bit of blood on the ground, but you're feeling a lot better.
I smile and for my goddess, just kind of like a grin and just kind of weakly stand up.
All right. Someone kind of moving their leg back and forth.
I think it's the
There you
dog.
go, it's Dusty.
Dusty's gone.
Oh, stream back.
Oh boy.
What the heck did you do?
That
What?
that sounded like Tasha's hideous laughter.
Yeah, it did.
That was
Shut
my
up,
aunt.
Tasha.
Yeah, DG, remember mic etiquette, please. Thank you.
Yeah, the sound of something hitting against like the side of your chair.
You know what it sounds like? A blinker.
It usually, yeah, it does, but that sound is usually his dog, right?
That is not the dog.
Maybe like a
That
tail.
is not the dog.
What
Or
is
like
it?
scratching at its collar. Trying to scratch its neck.
I'll
Like a
repeat.
collar.
That one was my aunt laughing 2 rooms away.
No.
Not
No, we're not
that.
talking about that. There's a different one. It also sounds like a ceiling fan when it, like hits back and forth.
Oh yeah. It's a rhythmic tapping noise.
Huh, I asked if people could hear that.
So, is everyone leveled up?
Yes.
All right, go ahead and take off the exhaustion from your character. All of you are at 1 level, so you can basically take it off. Actually, I think I have to. Mine. As you all slowly make your way out of your rooms in the morning, you notice that in the common areas, you didn't notice this earlier, but there's very, very faint classical music playing in the background, kind of drifting through the halls, through unseen sources. And
That got taste.
you guys are ravenously hungry, by the way, as as the scent of a very hearty breakfast floats through the halls alongside the music. You guys are almost unconsciously drawn towards the dining hall, where a quite hearty and decadent breakfast has been laid out for you.
Dusty puts a hand on his mouth and says, "No, no, you don't know it's yours. Don't do this again. You'll be scolded again."
I smile in proudness.
2 butlers and 2 maids are standing on either side of the table, and as some of you begin to enter, they give a bow towards the door and start to lead you all towards seats that are kind of near each other, but separated by at least 1 seat each.
I give a respectful nod.
They pull your chairs out for you, push them in as you sit down. It's kind of awkward for some of you, but for Yark, you basically settle right into a fairly generalized formal dinner routine.
I
Or
miss
formal
this.
meal. And almost as soon as you sit down, a handful, basically the rest of the servants make their way in with platters of steaming hot food as they place it down in front of you. Very, very fancy, but also very kind of simple and hearty meals. A lot of eggs, a lot of various baked breads, sweet breads. There's quite a few very fancy looking and very fancy smelling and tasting sausages, gravies. There's even some very Yark, you would recognize them as crepes, but the rest of you would just see very thin, kind of flat pieces of bread with this kind of very light white powder sprinkled on top.
Dusty audibly swallows and then looks her dead in the eye and says, "I will eat my entire body weight's worth of food."
Can I I'm gonna use another spell slot because I do not trust anything on this flying mechanical monster. I'm gonna cast Detect Poison and Disease.
All right. So.
Ooh, you got a ping from yourself.
That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, I figured.
I need to. Could you post the link for Lesser Restoration in chat?
Sure. Do you want me to do the Detect Poison and Disease too?
Actually, yeah, do both of them.
Only records show that you can. Okay.
That would actually do it. All right, so pinging the area around you with the Detect Poison and Disease. You basically sweep your eyes around, and you aren't seeing anything very obvious. There's nothing kind of poking out at you. But you do notice that you would notice that Yark, in fact, has a very, very slight shimmering kind of grayish aura, indicating that he is in the incubating stage for the common cold.
Oh, okay. I look over my party members too when I notice that a little
Yeah.
more intently, and myself. Make sure we didn't catch any more.
You seem to be clean. Everyone else seems to be clean, and you don't notice any poisons.
I'm gonna go over to Yark and just do like that thing that people do with the back of the hand to test a fever.
All right. Go ahead and give me a medicine check.
Psst. Zerth. We are cold-blooded.
Feels room temperature.
Room temperature.
So
It's what he was trained to for.
Oh no,
I
room
know
temperature.
this. It's muscle memory at this point.
as you do that, you do recall. It's like, yeah, wait a minute. Oh, shit. Never mind.
I'm gonna. He's gonna chuckle to himself and just go, I spent too much time in the fog. It's clouded my own fog, and cast and boop him on his nose with lesser registration.
All right, go ahead and mark up that spell slot. Does it require any material components, by the way? It does not. You can just
Nope.
do it.
Yep,
All right, that's pretty cool.
I'm a
Greater
doctor.
restoration. Greater restoration takes a lot, though.
Yark, you don't feel any different.
Okay. I'm gonna boot Zerth's hand with my nose in return.
I smile. You'll thank me later for that.
Dusty is already seated.
What? Hold on. Would I though? Because like, like nothing's gonna happen now. It's just gonna be normal.
Exactly. He's gonna make you wonder. It's the suspense. He's gotta take some joy after that hellhole.
I'm gonna eat my food suspensefully now.
Very. At this point, the music coincidentally changes a little bit to be a little foreboding. You don't know if the music actually changed, but now that you're expecting something bad, the music seems dark and ominous. Very faintly.
And I'll sit right across from him eating, and I'll keep my eyes deadlocked on Yark.
As you stare directly into his soul.
All right, so Dova.
Yeah.
Just for the record, I'm changing my Firebolt cantrip to Shocking Grasp, and I'm using my wand ability to do Firebolt again.
All right. Do you have any materials available to craft a wand with, or would you just scrounge for something?
I mean, I have woodcarver's tools,
and technically you would have it, but what would you make the wand out of?
Well, because I'm going a lot more machine than magic with this one, I was probably just going to use some scrap metal to make a thing. Because you know how I use the Firebolt out of like an arm cannon thing?
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking with Shocking Grasp, I'd just be like a really thin gauntlet that has electricity running through it.
All right. And the wand would basically be kind of a metal rod, or same sort of shape.
I was still gonna go with the arm cannon. Just mechanically, it would be the quote unquote wand.
Okay. All right.
And then I have like different, like depending on what cantrip I change it to, I'll have different little attachments to apply to myself to do the cantrips. Gauntlet's going to be on the left hand, by the way. Arm cannon's still on the right.
With it being a wand now, mechanically, it would be held in the hand, so it would occupy that hand.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But you can make a sheath for it fairly easily and make drawing and holstering it fairly fast.
Yeah. Okay. That works.
And
fittingly, it says it doesn't work for anyone but me.
Any what?
The wand, quote unquote, says it doesn't work for anyone but me. And that's 2d8 lightning damage.
It's pretty good.
and Firebolt gets additional damage to my intelligence mod.
As you are continuing with your breakfast, the doors slowly swing open behind you, and you hear the fairly distinct, almost spur-like sound of that detachment leader's boots on the carpeted floor behind you. As you turn around, just to kind of see the source of the sound, he's there in basically the same exact condition as you saw him yesterday. That same blank faceplate, with the little 2 eye holes. As he kind of looks over, he says very briefly, "I see you're enjoying the quarters."
Dusty, now having consumed food, looks at his blank face mask, and his eyes almost light up as he just wishes he had a piece of chalk.
He sees you all kind of nod in agreement. He says, "That's good. I will inform the captain that you are awake and up, and I suspect he will wish to talk to you shortly after. I
Okay.
advise that you clean yourself up."
Wait, who is this talking?
The detachment leader who basically saved you guys yesterday.
Oh, okay. I thought it was one of the undead at first. I was like, what the hell?
Well, being cleaned up would make sense, as Dusty is probably double fisting the food into his mouth.
And he kind of looks over at you doing that and kind of looks back the rest of you, and he says, in addition to probably being covered in much trail dust, you are tracking in quite a bit of sand. I don't know where it's coming from, but it seems that there's still quite a bit clinging to your bodies at the moment.
I try to shake.
I will shower. Reluctantly, but I will shower.
Boy,
Oh.
you will be wet and you will like it.
No, it's just you.
Do you have any imminent needs at the moment?
Can
Medical
I draw on your
attention?
face? Can I draw?
No.
Just
It sounds like he was expecting that.
you can pass off our
Hello.
thanks to the captain.
I will do
Oh,
so.
York's gonna speak up, and also the chef.
Oh
I
boy,
will-
Dusty just coming out swinging with that one.
I will make sure that they feel well appreciated.
Hey Dova,
No.
who'd you say this was? The detachment captain?
Yes.
Good evening. I'm your detachment. I'm the detachment captain, and no, you cannot draw my face.
Damn, it's like he knows. It's like he knows.
He is going to... He's just going to say, "Fortunately, I must be off. I have other duties to attend to, but I shall come find you again when the captain is ready to speak with you."
I'll nod as I'm vacuuming food into my maul.
Okay, everyone give me an insight check. Real quick.
Sure.
Yeah.
Nope. I got food. That's not
that-
rotten of disappearing or trying to eat us.
He
That no.
As he turns to leave, he says, "Hope you continue to enjoy your meal and have a nice day," and turns to go. As the door closes, Enun, you think that last statement might have had a little bit of contempt in it.
York's gonna say thank you as he turns away.
All right.
Noon's gonna do too much about it right now. He's just gonna see what develops, or at least keep an eye on things before anything happens.
All right.
Dusty, after having sufficiently bloated his gut, will lean over, fall off his chair, and start playing with his finger puppet. Start playing with his dolls.
All right.
I will allow this.
So
Excellent.
about 10 minutes after he leaves, you guys start to finish up. You've basically eaten all that can fit down your gullet, and you're feeling quite bloated, and your sense of smell is slowly coming back, and you realize you guys reek.
I smell like a fine swamp bog. Like good old home.
I smell like spiders and death. I smell like spiders.
Yeah, that's about right.
Then he sits up as he realizes he has consumed something, but something is missing. He looks at his flask.
Unfortunately,
My pudding. Where is
we had to leave your pudding behind. But I did inform them that you would like that back, and they said they would keep an eye out and go back when they get a chance.
I will jump off this ship to find it. I will jump.
No, you will not.
I can fly.
I'm gonna grab him, put him on my back, and it's bath time.
No, the worst thing.
You will learn to like the water one day, even if I have to drown you in it.
That is the second most likely cause of death. You in general.
Anoon very much wants to find his own tub or something in order to get the freaking sand out of his fur.
All right. The baths themselves, the room itself has warmed up a little bit after you've been here last, and you can notice little streamers of steam coming up from one of the baths in the distance, as it seems to be quite a bit hotter than the rest. But the baths themselves, there's one quite large one that has a very, very small amount of water vapor just kind of floating along the top. It's about 50 feet on each side. And there's a handful of smaller baths, just these kind of small inlaid, maybe 5 foot by 5 foot baths, kind of along the rim of this one. Maybe 5 of those. And then there's the sauna in the back as well, along with seating areas alongside the outside of this indoor bathing room. There's what look to be refreshments. There's some wine glasses placed in buckets full of ice. There's various bowls of fruit. You see covered trays with, you're not quite sure what's on it, but you could probably guess they're maybe cheese and meat trays. Plenty of towels, plenty of scented soaps and cleaning aids. There's pumice stones, brushes, dirt hooks. Those are a real thing, by the way. And it's not as bad as it sounds.
Right. Well, he's gonna stay away from the sauna because he doesn't have sweat glands, so that's just a nightmare.
Zerf will go towards the bath. How deep is the bath?
It comes up to maybe your waist, so maybe 3 feet deep.
Now, I have a very
perfect
important
background.
question for you, Dova.
Yes.
One that may be the most important thing I'm ever about to ask.
All right, I'm ready.
Is it fresh water?
It is fresh water.
He is more naked than he has ever been. As
Clothes just blast off of his body.
and just snakes in and just like kind of floats with an unseen current on the top with his maw just opened up.
Dusty is somewhere on the ceiling, stuck to the wall by a shoulder plate.
It is the fastest he has ever seen him move.
Well,
Yeah, Noon's going to.
I guess I'm not bathing now, but I'm
take off
greatly
his-
wounded.
And then
Anoon's gonna remove his robe and fold it up and get in the bath, and he's gonna cast Prestidigitation on the robe to clean it now that it's just folded, and probably can just do it in one hit.
all
It's
right.
a one by-
Yeah, you
a
can. You managed to clean it
1
quite
foot
easily.
cube, yeah.
And
And just
on a
kind of
rela-
relax.
on a related note to that, one of the butlers, currently wearing what looks to be in addition to his regular clothing, a very fine kind of silk blindfold, tied very neatly at the back, with extreme precision. Basically walks right up to the scattered piles of armor and clothing that Zerth left, and from beneath the folded towel on his forearm, kind of reaches into his sleeve, pulls out a very simple looking wand, and with a very quiet, polite muttering, will cast Prestidigitation on each little pile. You can see it lifts off the ground very slightly, the dust kind of being drawn up out into the air and into that same sleeve where he pulled the wand out of. And he's going to
Magical
continue to do
vacuum
that
cleaner?
for basically for each of the piles of clothing. If you guys leave your clothes out, then he's going to come around and just clean them up real quick.
Sinel will appreciate that, though while he is relaxing in the tub, he's also going to be working on patching up his any tears or anything in his various equipment and clothing.
All right. As you bring out your little equipment and start to perform some maintenance in the bath. That sounded like a very lengthy innuendo, I gotta say.
Zerth is just floating in the background.
Do you spit a little water up in the air? A little spout?
Yep.
All right.
Father, help me. I am trapped by you this time.
He'll help his son get down with the ceiling. Probably grab his warhammer so Dusty can kind of like wrap onto it.
Ah. Yes, this... Let's see. I'm stuck. I'm either stuck here and in pain, or submerged in water. I must debate. I must consider this carefully.
Well, hold on. This is the hot springs episode, so nothing serious ever happens. You're probably pinned to the ceiling with by your clothes, not by your body.
You do not know how it exploded off him. There's probably a piece currently in my esophagus.
Enjoy the water, son. Come, be one of us. As he motions to the rest of the group.
I'm not at the sea. I'm in the sky.
Dusty, go ahead and give me a strength check.
Oh no.
As the ceiling itself is a very fancy mosaic, and these the support kind of pillars and rafters that you've been gripping onto are marble and very slippery.
Oh,
The little
understand.
handhold you had, the claw kind of slips out of, and there's nothing else to grab at. The finger pads just slip right down, and you are falling.
Splash. Are you pleased yet?
How much do you weigh?
Let me check. I believe it was 35 pounds.
All right, very unimpressive splash.
Something just
Another
occurred to
little
me.
bloop.
Yeah.
How much would it hurt? You know how much a belly flop hurts. What
Yeah.
about a wing flop?
A lot less like impact, a lot more like slap.
Mm-hmm.
I will
More
also
surface
mention that
area.
monks have slow fall. I cannot fall at terminal velocities.
It's like dropping a leaf on a puddle.
Yeah.
Yeah, except more
Flutters
weight
back and
to it.
forth.
All right, you are now in the water. And how tall are you?
He is 3'7".
Your chin is at the water level.
He just like leans his head back and slightly glares at him like, "Are you pleased?"
Dova, does that mean I'm completely submerged?
How tall are you?
2 feet? No, wait, hold on. If I remember correctly, Yark is taller than Cobalt. 2'5". I was correct.
Yeah, you'd be underwater. There is like a kind of a bench seat along the rim of this entire pool, so people can just kind of sit, and you can stand on that just fine. But sitting, you'd have to kind of reach your head back and just to keep your snout above the water.
He's gonna be sitting and just go, this is great.
Zerth would just kind of pick
I
up
will-
his son a little bit
I will
And-
now accept scrubbing.
and start washing him with, and Zerth's scarred body just kind of looks like he's been through some shit, and but he's like the happiest gator that anybody has ever freaking seen.
And then next to him, Dusty looks like a tiny drowned rat.
Mhm.
You are looking pretty scruffy. Not scruffy, kind of waterlogged.
Slightly mangy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've got it. I'm gonna take some lessons from Zerth in how to hold my head below the water so I don't drown.
It's called Close Your Nose.
You're having a very hard time closing your nose to keep water from coming in. Water starts to get in and it gets to about your throat, and you can keep it from going down further, but your entire mouth is full of water. And
With my mouth full of water, I say, I don't think this is working for me. This is I thought he keeps his whole, like, the whole top of his head, snout above the water.
Zerth is one of the water.
Mm-hmm. And you manage to kind of get the perfect level right that you can, or exactly how far you can go down before you start to get water in your nose.
Awesome. I'm glad I can figure that out.
Zerf's nose, like snoot and eyes are perfectly level. He can just kind of float there, barely being seen, and be perfectly fine. And then I think he would just spend a abnormal amount of time in the water.
All right.
Somebody may have to get him out of the water.
Some of you feel on the verge of going back to sleep, but the food in your gut is finally getting processed, and you're feeling nice and energetic.
I'm ready to die. I'm ready to...
The butler is still standing kind of by the door, not really doing or saying anything. And you kind of notice that there's a brief moment where the vessel kind of shifts and kind of bumps over slightly, almost like a very, very slow wave. like if you were in a ship. But that kind of fades away, and and it goes back to this just completely almost like you're on solid ground. All right, but eventually, you guys might feel that your skin's getting a little bit too pruny.
Some of us.
Zerth could stay here forever,
Oh yeah,
but
he may actually.
Dusty, Sinnoh, and Enun, you're starting to feel a little bit pin-cushiony.
Somebody get me a brush, or I'm gonna look like a cotton ball. Inu, I know you have one.
I probably
You
enjoy
hear,
it too
you
a
hear
lot too, right?
a tiny little squeak from the end of the room as the butler opens up one of the cabinets under the towel cart, pulls out a handful of various personal grooming tools, places them on a wooden tray, and very calmly and efficiently brings them over to you. Kind of places them down on the pool side.
Sir, you are
Gives him-
so good at just like being invisible.
gives
Teach me
us-
your ways. Teach me your...
He gives a slight bow and then returns to the door.
My God. So that is a professional.
Dude's gonna wonder if he could have someone brush him.
Wait, don't you have like unseen servant or something?
Dusty will begin brushing himself vigorously.
Oh yeah, I think it was one that I didn't fully add. Let me see.
Hold on. There is a first level ritual spell that you have not put in your spell book.
Oh no, I have it. I just didn't drag it over. It was from
All right then.
the other guy's spell book. Copied over.
Well, there you go. Your personal grooming servant.
Mhm.
Oh, hey, Dova, by the way. I changed one of my arcane infusions to replicate magical item, specifically alchemy jug.
All right.
I love this item.
It's pretty dang cool. How would you go about making it?
Well, it's essentially infusing magic into an already mundane item.
Mm-hmm.
So it would probably just be like any sort of bottle with a stopper, because what it looks like is just a bottle with a ton of different stoppers on it.
Mm-hmm. Where would you get the bottle?
I don't have any. Or wait, does Anun have any bottles with stoppers from all the drinking he does? Or Sinnoh?
Yeah,
That's
I'd have
it.
one.
Well, there you go. I knew it was one of you. I figured it was Sinnoh.
It all seems to like.
Hey, you gotta talk into the mic.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, jeez. I am so sorry.
Yeah, I mean we can kind of do this if you'd like.
Yeah, my face wasn't quite close enough to the mic for it to pick up my voice
Said
very well.
Ray,
Oh,
not
Jesus
Cobalt.
Christ.
Yeah, Anoon has like liquor bottles, so he'll give him
Awesome.
an empty one.
One of those will work.
All right. And yeah, that should work just fine. If you want to kind of explain the what you do to make it do the alchemy jug thing, that's all right. But if you don't want to, we'll just assume that artificery, and as I wave my hands around.
I mean, honestly, there's only so much you could do when the item is a jug with a bunch of corks in it. So like, I'd probably just take the bottle. I'd pour into it a little bit of every liquid, but that would require me to actually have them. let's just say I'm able to over time, over the adventure, I've been able to make a bunch of the things required.
Hmm. You've been able to just kind of slowly scrounge it together. You've got a very long to-do list.
Yep. I put it all in the bottle, shake it up, glue some corks to the side, and then infuse magic to make it all come together.
As you pour the magic into it, the bottle starts to shimmy and shake. When would you do this? You do this kind of.
It would technically be right after the long rest, but I figured I'd want to eat and shower first and bathe
Okay.
first. So I guess right after.
All
or
right.
during.
During. We'll go during.
Okay.
As you're kind of jump out of the bath and you're just kind of leaning with your feet in the water. You pull out the jug and you're finishing up the last bit of infusion from your own internal magics. As you kind of complete it, you look at it. You're not really sure it's done until all of a sudden the contents inside kind of swirl and quiver faster and faster and faster, and the bottle starts to shake and shimmy in your hand like it's going to either burst loose or totally explode.
In my experience from things like this happening, I'm going to hold it away from the water and other people.
All right, you kind of turn around and hold your head as far away as you can, and it seems like it's about to explode. It's about to explode. You hear glass cracking. It stops, and you look over, and it's kind of shimmering and very, very slightly quivering in your hands. And you're kind of scared, but it seems to be holding.
Now, what happens if I give it a very firm poke on the crack?
Does it have a bunch of cracks in it?
No, actually, you're looking at. You can't find. You don't know what was making that sound.
Ooh, never mind.
Thank goodness. Is there any rule against beverages in the bathing area?
Well, there's a
sign.
There's a one of the kind of like a wooden bucket with what looks to be a wine bottle stuck inside in one of the seating areas nearby. So, you don't think so?
All right, cool.
Oh.
And the butler doesn't seem to be correcting you, so.
Anyone want drinks to celebrate? I just made a thing. I need to try it out.
Yes. I will drink anything.
That concerns me.
I put gems in my mouth. You know what I'm about.
Well, this can produce many things. However, less than half of them are ingestibles, so or are considered beverages. So let's just go with either beer, wine, or water.
I can drink one of those things normally. I can drink.
I ask everyone else.
I
can only pick one though.
What's everybody's passive insight? So 10 plus your insight modifier.
16.
12.
Also 16.
All right.
Low. Maybe 11.
I need one from Sinel. That's it, actually.
Passive insight, 15.
15? All right. I'm going to type something up for you real quick in Discord. Or actually, I'm going to do it in Fantasy Grounds. So everyone else keep going. It's GM Whisper, right? Or just Whisper.
Just send it to. I'd say just send in Discord.
Yeah, I can't remember how to do it. I think it was /W, and then I think it's /W, and then the character name, and then your message.
Oh, I can't write the accent. We'll see if this works. Whisper recipient on. Yeah, I can't do an accent. I'm just gonna do it on Discord.
Well, there's technically a way to do an accent. It's just convoluted.
Yeah. What if I just do? Oh, I can just highlight it from your.
Perfect.
There we go. Oh, look at that. I'm so smart.
Zerf,
Oh,
so,
mint.
Am I supposed
Sorry,
to be able
go
to
ahead.
read that?
what did Yark make again?
It looks like a big jug with a ton of stoppers on it. A ton of rubber, a ton of corks, like all over it.
Zerf's is very relaxing, so he would he's still floating with his mouth open, and he'll just kind of float idly past Yark.
Specifically 10 stoppers, 1 at the top and 9 all around.
What have you created this time?
It's called an alchemy jug. It can pour many things, but only one thing per day.
Is any of it going to explode?
I hope not. At least two. At least he goes. At least 2 of the. At least 3 of the things have the potential to ignite, but not on their own.
And you wish for us to partake?
Do you like beer and wine?
I don't dislike them.
So just confirmation, the previous message that I just said test. None of you guys saw that except for Sinnoh.
I didn't
I
see
didn't
it.
get anything.
No,
I didn't
Is
see
Syl
it.
the only one who passed? I thought Zerth got a ton too.
And Sinnoh, you got it for sure.
Is he
I
even here?
didn't get
Oh,
anything.
okay.
You just the thing that just said test.
Oh, that.
As I heard
yeah.
it. Yeah. All right. Cool. So hopefully I didn't fuck this up. It sounds like he got it. All right, we're good.
Okay.
Now, before I continue, anything you want to tell us?
sure. I'm in a adventurous mood.
Did you hear me, Sinnoh?
Sorry, what?
I'm gonna give you a moment to share and continue.
I mean, if he shares.
Huh?
If it's something that he'll share, he'll share.
Okay. All right. Well, you guys gotta pick beer or wine. I just want to test this thing out.
Wine.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, wine's good.
I take out some cups and uncork one of the stoppers on the side, and pour some wine. Not a whole lot though.
I swear,
our goal is not to drink.
If this is gasoline, I'm drowning you.
I probably pulled the right cork. Also, none of this is gasoline. What's gasoline?
Lamp oil.
Lamp oil.
Why would I put? Okay, I guess I can't say that. It's not lamp oil.
Go ahead and give me an Arcana check, Yark, just to make sure that you're doing this right.
I was like, can I give an insight check to him? See if he's confident.
All right.
Hold on. Before, just so you know, I fully believe everything I'm saying right now.
All right. I mean, you made the dang thing. You're 99% sure this is the correct stopper. It's a very small doubt, but almost not noticeable.
He'll
Nova,
drink
is
it.
there any additional info there?
Yes, I'm writing it right now.
Okay.
He's Zerf's in a very good mood. He's relaxing in fresh, warm water. It's a good day.
How is it? How was the quality?
Sorry, was that a question for me or for Zer?
Well, I guess both of you, because I don't. It doesn't. The jug doesn't say anything about the quality, but at the same time, I'm also very good at making brew and food.
It's true. It's a very solid, not too exciting, but very decent quality, and you can't really find too much wrong with it.
He'll close and just be silent for an uncomfortable amount of time. And Zerk goes, I'm not much of a drinker, but that is actually pretty good.
I guess I'll pass one to Anu and Sinel as well.
I'll
And I'll
take
take.
a quick
Sino will happily
small
take
sip.
some.
Anud will incorrectly drink it, like drinking it like hard liquor.
Yeah, actually, I
And
don't.
passing the buck.
Okay, never mind.
Zerth, remind me, what's on your tabard?
Oh, what's on my tabard?
Yeah.
It's the symbol of my goddess, which is, oh my god, how do I describe it?
A giant cat lady?
It's not a cat lady.
Are you sure? As someone who's played Magic the Gathering, are you sure?
I can 1000% say it is not a cat lady. It is,
Bantu, the giant alligator?
it's a, almost like a naga serpent, with wide, dragon-like wings, with the arms rising up in a claw. The face almost looks like a sun. I can
So
send
the-
you a picture of it.
I mean,
go.
it's right there on the background of the fantasy grounds.
That's true, it's on the shield of
Yeah.
the Fantasy Grounds, but I sent a
And the
picture in
tabard.
Echoes of Eberron. I'm making another message for you, Sinel.
So that sound effect happens every time you get DM'd a message too?
At least on here, at least.
Okay.
As soon as you posted that picture, I found the quote-unquote description.
Potato toe.
Yep.
Potato.
This P is silent.
But it affects the T in the small.
Potato.
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 It has a gentle effect on the
Yeah.
T.
Is that like the pomato?
Something like that.
Pimento?
Alright, this is like, when it says somebody's typing for a long ass time, and you're excited to see what they what they type up. It's that right there.
And then it's just K.
Yeah. It's exactly what I sent. I apologize. I would use that message to make a joke. Either way,
Alright, cool.
the brew that comes from the stopper, while it lasts, is very good. How much do you guys drink?
Only one glass. Our goal is not to get drunk. I just want
Alright.
to test it to make sure it worked.
It's pretty good. All in all, it's very average. It's middle of the road, but nothing wrong with it.
Zurich would probably actually take three glasses, which is really rare for him.
Hmm.
He does more water and, blood
Well,
Yeah.
from things that he eats.
I suppose you can't get intoxicated considering how large you are.
That's true. It
Wait,
doesn't have too much of an effect on you.
Can this bottle empty, or does it keep
I
going?
with wine, I can do 1 gallon.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say if it was infinite, Anu drank the whole thing.
I mean, 1 gallon is still a lot when you consider how big wine glasses are.
That's true.
Yeah.
A gallon of wine is a lot of wine for
Gallon of
some
whiskey
people.
is a lot.
Hashtag wine gal.
Hashtag not all wine.
White girls.
So, as some of you are starting to feel a little bit warm on the inside as well, there's a very polite knock at the door.
I get up and open the door.
Are you wearing anything?
I guess I'll grab a towel. Oh, hold on. I'm a lizard. Nothing is visible, right?
I've
Yeah.
received a message from you, GM.
Yeah, I'll just open the door.
What do you mean you got a message from me?
Well, I don't understand it, but I received
He's
something.
talking about Tato.
Oh, yeah.
Potato.
Potato.
Yes.
It's like cafefe.
Ugh. Coffee.
That was a golden moment in the internet.
in human history.
Coffee.
Cafefe.
That reminds me,
endless
one
analysis.
of the YouTubers I watch, he recently moved from Patreon to Coffee, and he does not seem to understand that it is pronounced coffee. You know, the KO-FI.
Yeah.
He's like Ko-Fi or Coffee or whatever it's named.
Ko-Fi, yeah. I mean,
And
I
I'm like-
pronounced it was Ko-Fi.
I'd probably go with Kofi.
Yes, but the whole
Oh, yeah.
the whole thing on the site is buy someone a coffee.
Interesting.
It's very easy, at least to me, to correlate. Okay, you want to buy somebody a coffee? You do it on coffee.com.
I'll just
Don't
set
get
the jug to the side when I open the door.
All right.
Excellent. Good work, Power Stone.
I'm excited.
Oh, did he post something?
Everyone enjoying their hot springs while Dusty looks like death.
I see me.
Now, whose snout is that? It's probably a Noon's.
It is probably a noons.
Wait, the snap? Wait. Yeah, probably. I thought this was supposed to be me because I'm so short, but
No,
that also works.
there. You are very clearly defined on the right.
Zerth is the only one enjoying bath time to more of an extreme than anyone ever should.
I don't belong in the water.
You
I'm-
belong where I tell you to.
I'm being poached like an egg. I'm being poached.
All right.
Time
So-
to get out of the water, though.
As you head out,
super
and,
warm.
your very, very soft scales, very soft and clean scales, almost glimmering in the light. You head out, you kind of push the door, or this would be a pull open. As you pull it open, you see that standing outside, hands behind his back, is the leader. He's very calmly looking down at you, saying, I believe the captain is ready for a meeting whenever you all are ready. It is best not to keep him waiting, though.
I guess I'll grab a towel and dry.
Somebody may have to pull Zerth out of the tub.
Yeah, he disappears around the corner.
As I'm using the towel, I'm gonna tell Zerth, this jug can make salt water too.
You wouldn't.
I lift up the jug and shake it, and you can audibly hear swishing inside of it.
I will make you a belt.
We gotta go see the captain.
Grrr.
The belt's not gonna help your itchy scales.
Father, I am escaping. Father.
I hold out a towel, bowl style for Dusty.
Dry himself off as swiftly as the wind.
On the as you're kind of standing up and starting to make your way towards the door, you notice on the just left of the door is a kind of mounted on a pedestal. It's a very smooth stone orb, about the size of a beach ball. It's mounted on a very fancy looking, very dark wood and gold banded pedestal.
Sounds beautiful.
Looks pretty good.
I'm going to admire it visually as I drive.
All right. Looks pretty nice. As you look kind of closely, you notice that it has a handful of artificer roots on it.
Ooh. If I didn't be on my best behavior, I would most certainly study it a lot. But wait, did we get our clothes back?
Yeah.
Cool.
He didn't really touch your clothes much. He just basically cleaned them.
Oh, luckily, scales don't take as long to dry as fur. I
True.
stick out my tongue at the furred ones and put the clothes on.
Prestidigitation makes it quick.
Yeah, but only one of you has that.
The butler does notice that you guys have gone through like 2 towels trying to dry off, and you're only halfway done. So he kind of he brings the hand that was behind his back, and he kind of motions across his side of the door towards the orb on the pedestal.
Dusty does the customary flap and stretch of wings to shake off butter. Because it's hard to towel dry a wing.
Little droplets go everywhere.
I'm gonna go to the. I'm gonna wait. He's motioning to the orb.
Yeah.
Like, I'll try touching it. I guess just gently tapping it.
You kind of tap it. Nothing really happens, but you definitely felt a little bit of magic coursing through that little contact patch.
Interesting.
This gives me a great idea. Dusty walks over to the orb, mushes his face against it like a cat.
All right. You feel a breeze come up from all around you. And in mere moments, all the water has been wicked away from your fur and just thrown in all directions.
Ooh.
However, it seems to evaporate before it hits anybody else. In kind of just this burst of very dry steam.
Aha, I knew it. This was a good idea.
And you are dry.
You're just gonna take a mental note of this one. If only I could fashion this into some sort of collar that might also keep you clean, the same way it evaporates water.
You settle down, okay?
All right, cool. Are we all dried out and
just
dressed?
Dusty. Only people who would touch the orb.
Oh, the orb drives off.
Hey guys, touch the orb. Were you not listening to this very detailed?
I was listening to it, but I missed where it started. So.
Well, he said it wicked away all the water. So, yeah, it dries you.
Zerf would finally get out, but he's still on all fours. He's just gonna drip dry.
Mhm.
Looks like a full gator.
All right. So, for those of you who decide to touch the stone, you are dried off completely and almost instantly. And this is, in fact, a cleansing stone. For those of you who have been to major cities, notably Yark, after you see it activate, your memory slowly jogs and you remember, oh, you've seen one of these before. Have you ever been to Sharn?
Yes, on work.
There's actually almost one of those in every one of the very large sort of central plazas. You can find them pretty regularly. And in many places, in many parts of the city, they replace traditional bathing, as they basically cast prestidigitation on whoever places both hands on it.
Oh. Okay, I explained this to the group.
Has been explained.
Group understand.
Information received.
Process accepted.
Dusty, negative. Didn't go in. We'll get it next time.
Mission failed.
Error 404. Server not found. Yeah, Zerth would get dressed eventually. And then just kind of go towards the butler, gonna follow him.
All right.
As he goes, I think we should not keep our
Benefactor waiting.
Benefactor, yes. I had a brain fart.
Yeah,
The man
Noon will don
upstairs.
his robe, and
With a flourish?
Oh.
No? Okay.
Sindel will dry off and pull on his equipment as well. Ready to go.
All right.
If I had known that orb was there when we came in, I probably would have used it before the bath.
I would have
Now you
used
feel
it
extra clean.
instantly. I'm so warm. I have a desire for milk for some reason, and
You know-
strawberries.
You know that, Dusty, that means you could have gotten clean without taking a bath.
I realize.
You
He
should
still
probably,
would have gotten wet.
maybe you should learn prestidigitation so you never have to bathe again.
Maybe I can spend this key point pushing you back in the water.
I'm
Thank
giving
you,
you good. I'm giving you good information.
I know. However, I'm still peeved that I was exploded into a wall by my father. Then I fell into the water, and now I could have. Now I learned I could have circumvented this whole deal.
We talk as we walk.
Oh, of course.
They're good. They are good friends.
Oh, and I'm going to tie the jug to the side of my backpack.
All right.
Zerth will lower his head.
Every once in a while.
Also, what is that strong-smelling not blood you are pouring?
It's a special beverage. I look up at Zer.
I give him the most fatherly look that he can muster.
Like, no. Strong fatherly disapproval.
Ask your dad when you can have some.
Father, if I defeat you in combat, can I drink?
You can drink as soon as you start liking baths.
Oh, I'm gonna die before I drink.
and you can drink when you can hold your breath longer than Zerth.
Hold
That's
on,
not fair.
that's a learned ability. That can actually happen eventually.
I could have
Yeah, when he's
taken
old
water
enough.
breathing at this level.
Dusty makes a memo. Bro kills.
So, as you make your way out You follow the butler, and he basically just leads you through the very short walk that brings you back to the grand staircase. And standing in the basically right in the middle is the leader of the little detachment. Except there's a little bit something different about him. For one, is instead of kind of a very faint bluish glow, his eyes are now glowing a very bright red with this kind of ethereal fog drifting from either side of the eyes, just kind of
Ooh.
drifting downwards and kind of dissipating. In addition, there's two kind of small horns just above his where his eyebrows would be. They kind of curve upward very slightly.
Dusty excitedly taps her shoulders. He's ready to murder.
He's got a much more confident pose than the little detachment leader had otherwise. In a much deeper, more authoritative voice, he calls out. He says, "It's good to finally meet you."
Wait. Is this the captain?
I think
As far
it
as
is.
you can, as far as you can tell.
It is.
Oh.
It is wonderful to meet you. Thank you so much for everything you've done for us.
I don't think I ever
Oh.
caught your names.
My name is Yark. It was a pleasure to meet you.
He gives
I'm
a
a
nod.
Noon. I'm a fellow necromancer.
He kind of tilts his head when you say fellow. He says, "Oh, it's not something I'm willing to get into, but I will say that I will admit that I'm no true necromancer.
Oh. Is
But
necromancers around here?
I'm not willing to divulge that secret."
Dusty looks over to Zerth, slightly concerned about if he opens his mouth, he might be grounded.
I
If he opens his mouth around authority, he might be grounded.
Zerth will go, my name is Elder Tozerth Kamen. You can call me Zerth. Don't call me Handbag. And this is my son, Dusty.
Hello, I'm not grounded yet.
Give me an insight check, sir.
Yark is gonna kind of pinch the bridge of his snout a little bit. He's
The
been
captain gives a nod, a very polite nod, and says, "I'm pleased to meet you both."
Yark has
And
been
what about for you, Outlander? As he looks towards Sinnel.
he knows our backgrounds.
Is that my background?
Is it your background? It seems like it'd be your
No,
background.
it's not.
Bulk
Oh.
hero?
I was like, that doesn't sound right.
Well, to be fair, a lot of rangers tend to be outlanders.
My name is Sinnel.
You do kind of have that look. Not necessarily of an actual like wilderness ranger, but you do look very prepared.
Yeah.
You can sense that's probably what he was getting at.
I'm going to say it's 100% canon now that Yark has been drilled, has had manners drilled into him by his teachers,
I can accept that.
at least in the presence of authority in high class.
Mm-hmm. So, what do you say, Sinnel?
I introduced myself.
Ah, sorry, I missed it. He gives
I
a nod.
said my name is Sinnel. Pleasure to meet you.
All the same. Kind of looks you
My
over
name is
and
Jeff.
he looks you all over and he says, "I'm sure you're all wondering why someone with this much authority and power is even giving you the time of day. But take it as a small reward and I'm sure some of you recognize this vessel, the Albatross.
The one we're on
Is-
right now?
Correct.
It exploded us some weeks ago.
That's what I was getting at. He gives a very dry chuckle.
I mean, it was one of the worst days of my life, but it was memorable, I guess.
hmm That was one of the reasons that you find yourself here today. For one of you, and he turns, and you can sense that he's kind of looking over at Yark. He says, one of you reported back about the devastation of Nathir. And that report has greatly aided me.
Oh,
How
You know, you-
so?
usually criminals don't like being known, but okay. And then Dusty remembers he should close his mouth.
You're just gonna nudge his shoulder with his elbow.
Either he doesn't notice or is pretending not to notice. But
Forgive him,
in
he's plain
response
touched.
to Zerth's question, he says, "You of all people should understand the cost of
Mm,
what
more
this
than you think.
what this," he says as he kind of motions around him. This is an end to that. You see, that report you sent, in an event totally unforeseen by myself, that report had been intercepted by a member of the Thrainhold Intelligence. While the intent of that letter was that something from the outside has struck Nathir, the intent never made it through, lost in translation. And so the war started, and my plans thus may have, while before they may have taken decades or even centuries to complete, the timetable has been shortened considerably.
Ah,
Thanks to your efforts, we may see an end to war in months.
Do an
Now,
insight check on that.
go ahead.
see, that's ominous enough for even Dusty to be like, there's something about that.
You can't see any facial expressions. The body has very little tells associated with it. Dusty,
Yes.
stone cold conviction. That's all you're getting. As I'm trying to remember where I left off.
You.
He was
Okay,
monologuing.
okay. That's true. He is monologuing. As he says, he kind of gives a chuckle and says, "This little rush, unfortunately, has prevented me from meeting you in person. As you can guess, this is not really me, but my first officer. I hope you've been treating him well. He's been telling me that you've taken a liking to the quarters. I hope you are. It's been quite some time since anyone living was able to enjoy them."
It's unexpected, but I don't dislike it.
That's good.
I'm gonna look at him.
What sort of What sort of emotion?
To the eye.
Lizard. Lizard.
Just gator
Lizard.
face.
Yep. Just general, yeah. All right.
Yep, just
Lizard is definitely an emotion. I can contest to that.
and he will go, and he goes, your hospitality has been very gracious and kind, and I do appreciate saving my comrades and I from that horde.
Sounds like you're getting at something.
Though I am curious to hear more about how you will relieve war from this world.
He waits, watching.
And he's just saying that with like just fact. He's been through enough to know that if there is no war, there is a peace, but at the same time, not all peace is everlasting.
Dusty just raised a hand. Well, if everyone dies, there's no one left to do war.
Mm.
There's a long silence as he just kind of stares at you before that same dry laugh kind of comes out of the first officer. Kind of gives a very slight nod and he says, "That's the spirit." Before looking, he'd actually look at Yark and say, "Now, as I think my first officer said before, we'll be offering passage. Where is it that you'd like to go?"
Out of character, where was it we were going again?
You were just
new
trying to get out of the
beginnings.
Mournlands.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
And so
before
in
that.
character, it hadn't really occurred to you to pick a location until now.
Don't we have to turn in these bounties or something?
Yeah.
Or spell shards or whatever?
I'm
I
going
guess-
to campaign notes.
Unless anyone has any other specific place they want to go to, I guess there.
Yeah, no, that's what Zerf was saying. Like the only thing we have right now is just to turn in these
Spell shard.
scales.
Hey, what if we
Yeah.
go to that one place with the merchant? The one that I turned into a plant in front of.
We're low on funds. We definitely need to get those in.
Mm-hmm.
And if I remember correctly, they sold for a lot.
They were going to be turned in for a lot.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
5,000 each.
What?
1,000 each.
Yeah, we're sitting on about 3,000 now, so that's 600 per.
No, it's 3,000 per.
Settle down, bud. Okay. I've got it in my notes right here. 1,000 per.
Now, are those the original notes, or are those after you fumbled the originals?
It's the original notes. I'm looking at them right here. This is the entry for the day that you got that bounty.
Careful, he's ready to debate.
Yeah. Are you? Do you want to see a screenshot of it?
Hey, Dove, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
We didn't see any of the undead ship peeps, like getting in the bathroom, in the bathhouses, or eating.
No. The only other beings in here, other than the first officer, and that one undead, very briefly, when you brought in Dusty, were the 10 Warforged servants.
Okay. I'm guessing undead don't eat, do they?
Probably not in the sense that we do.
To your own knowledge, probably not.
Wait, they have both undead and warforged?
Seems so.
Yeah, this is a high level necromancer. He can afford Warforge.
Either that or maybe as a artificer buddy, nudge, nudge to Inu.
You're looking at the future of you too.
We are just these two people are
Is this commander actually a kitsune?
no. The commander isn't here, or the real commander isn't here.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Zerth would bow and say, I think we are going to go. Our original plan was we were going back to hand in some business that we completed in the morning.
Near the Mornlands. Do you remember what the town was?
That was let me see.
I forgot. Zerth would remember.
I gotta look
Aether?
at
Or was it Hatheril?
Hatheril. That was a that was one of the other places that you were. Let me look at the map.
Also need to go by the Black Pit or the Black Caps. Because that's where my book told us to go next when it updated.
The mushrooms you got. The name you were given for the mushroom. Black caps, correct?
I have no idea. I was reading the mountains.
Black Cat sounds familiar.
Because that's yeah, maybe, but I was thinking of the Black Cap Mountains.
I believe the town you were in, it was near Vatheron, but I don't believe it actually was Vatheron. It was a very small town right on the edge.
Yeah, on the border.
Basically a scavenging and a expedition base. I don't remember the exact name of it though, unfortunately.
Check your notes.
I don't have it in the notes. Big sad.
Oh, by the way, when are we ending tonight?
Fairly soon.
Okay. I'm gonna make sure Zim gets his much needed rest.
Looking at the contract, actually, looking at it a little bit closer and at the details of who put it out, you notice the name or like the organization Moorgrave University.
Acclaim spreads.
Yark, give me a history check.
Yes. I did it. That's a good number.
So, while you were in Sharn, for the brief amount of time that you were, you do recall hearing about the Moorgrave University. It's basically, from what you hear, something about a lot of archaeologists, dungeon divers.
Necromancers?
Not really necromancers.
More University doesn't
But
have...
it's the largest university in Breland. It's known for being very sort of hands-on, and you remember seeing a one of their classes actually heading past you on one of the lifts inside the city, down to the lower levels. And their main base, the university itself, is located in Sharn.
So this is a very prestigious college.
Yeah, extremely prestigious.
Cool.
El gobierno federal ha dicho que puede ser menos cierto eso. El gobierno federal puede ser menos
that Dusty?
I think it is.
Hold on.
But yeah, I think we would be all in agreement to probably go back to that town.
I can gladly bring you back to the edge of the morn if you wish.
Just need to finish up on previous obligations first.
Very well. If you choose to go here, I won't come pick you up afterwards, as I do have other business to attend to.
All right.
Now, is there a way we can keep in contact?
Maybe have like an enchanted key that'll take us back to the ship.
Your cell phone number? You know, text you.
He just stares at you. Let me clarify. This is a temporary arrangement. I am offering this service but once. If your actions bring us back into contact once again, then maybe we can speak of it.
Does that consider us allies from now on, or is this more of a trial basis?
I'll consider yourselves neutral for the purposes of my business.
Well, I thank you for your assistance, and I am glad I could have helped.
He gives a nod and says, "For you, I'll consider yourself allies."
Yerk's gonna bow.
First officer gives a polite bow back.
Hope that means we don't get bombed anymore.
Yark.
Yes.
I have a question.
Well, what
This-
was Zova gonna say?
This is a etiquette. What, in your opinion, would be the best skill to use for etiquette, for personal etiquette, for your character?
For personal etiquette?
Yeah.
Let me check and see.
Either history or... Actually, I'd consider it probably history. For remembering the teachings of how to act politely in the presence of higher class.
I don't know, Dova. Arcana looks like a pretty good skill. Alchemist supplies is good.
Performance or just
Go
charisma
history.
seems.
Probably history, honestly, because he was taught by. He was taught all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, there we go.
I'm gonna send you something.
My God.
Oops.
Sends it to all by accident.
All right.
Test is successful.
Sick.
Zerth would ask him one question
Interesting.
before we started walking away, or
Go ahead.
starts. He would say, "Your plans, they don't involve like killing every living creature on this planet or turning them into some undead, questionable horror, does it?"
No.
Mm.
Well, I'd certainly considered something like that. If everyone were dead, then there really wouldn't be a point to ending wars. I'm going after the roots, the causes of all these wars.
Money.
Nations. Do you say that in character?
No.
Okay.
Dusty practically throws his arm up in the air and he's almost bouncing.
The war that claims so many lives was born of a childhood spat over honor and who deserved to rule arbitrary lines. So that's what I'm going after.
The great fight of the chair.
So to speak.
Mm.
Does he mean throne when he says chair?
Is that in character?
No, I'm
Okay.
saying, is there some lore thing that I'm missing? Because there seems to know this.
It's fairly common knowledge that the last war was sort of spawned by a conflict in who would rule
Skyrim?
Corvair after the death of King Gallifrey.
It was two kids fighting over who wants to sit in Daddy's lazy boy.
And this came before Skyrim, so don't you fucking say it. You get that fucking word out of here.
I would have said the king's name when you said when blank died, but I forgot his name.
I'm
Zerth
forgetting it
had-
now, but we're not gonna say it. I will
Zerth had,
remove you from the call if you say it.
Okay. Good thing I don't remember what it is.
Thank goodness.
Zerth had great disdain that he does not hide over that useless fight that he sees.
Hey, you have something in common with the undead.
Yeah, apparently.
Who'd have thunk it?
Uh,
Sleep.
Zerth would go, if you're looking to create a world where immature children don't fight and send innocents to slaughter over a right to sit, I guess I can see and back that ideology.
I'm getting serious Drax vibes from Zer. You're fighting a war just to sit? No, it's a metaphor.
As you kind of go on like that, he stares. Go ahead and give me an insight check.
All right, insight. Come on, insight. Oh yeah, that's pretty good.
You're getting the gut feeling that he thinks you're either a moron or just simple-minded.
I mean,
motion.
if we're being honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not too far.
It's not exactly a Rube Goldberg machine up there.
He's he's deeper than a Twinkie. That surprising cream filled with the lemon flavored cake. It's always that lemon flavored cake that gets you. But he'll motion to Dusty. He's like, "You wanted to say something."
What's in the box?
Was there a box?
There's no box. Did
The
you say
golden
that?
box from the city.
There was
the
influence.
Oh yes,
we lost.
the ship stole the
wise
box
decision.
from the that cart.
Oh.
Yark is going to explain in better detail and say he is curious about the treasure chest that was taken from the city when we first met. It's say met with like a question mark. Met?
That.
Been somewhat plaguing him mentally.
I suppose I can disclose that has already been done.
Yeah, man, those zombies really fought me for that box. Zombies really fought me.
During the midst of the war.
Dova,
Yeah?
there was influence.
Yep, I got it.
Was there? Did the thing sound and I didn't even hear it?
He's gonna continue saying, in the midst of the war, there's a great many eldritch machines that had been slowly silenced, each of which requires a great deal of power to operate. One of those needed a Kyber dragon shard. Correction, sorry, this is out of character. Sybaris dragon shard.
Ooh. you had my attention, but now you have my attention.
The parcel which you'd seen me acquire, and I do admit my soldiers had to fight you off, was the piece that was required to bring one of those machines back online. It's as much as I'm willing to divulge.
The whole fighting for the chest thing, that was more of a racial instinct kind of thing. You have to forgive me.
That was in character, right?
Yes.
Okay. He kind of gives a nod, but you can tell behind that, behind the faceless mask, you can definitely like feel a scowl. Yes, I can understand your plight.
That feeling when you get when you use the wrong dialogue choice and you know it.
You can. I don't think you even need to roll for insight. That's definitely a lie. He does not
Shit.
understand your plight.
The
He just
fleshies.
nat one that.
All right. Well, I don't know where else to go with this conversation. I've said all I wanted to say.
We found out what's in the box. We found his quote unquote motivation. He said it's not going to essentially kill the whole plan.
That's a plus.
That's a plus. I don't think I don't think we said anything about mind control. I can't remember.
That's cool.
But Zerk can tell this guy's getting a little bit more aggravated with the 20,000 questions, so he's just going to
like I said, I was done. Well, if that is all you wanted to say, then we will allow you to continue with your work.
And I wish you a pleasant rest of your journey. Perhaps one day we'll meet in person.
I wish the same for you. And I bow again, like a formal greeting / goodbye bow.
All right. Returns it and turns to leave.
I'm so tired.
As he opens the door leading to the outside, the wind whipping around the little recessed hangar bay. He's gonna stop. He's gonna turn and say, I advise that you determine where your alliances lie. With the people, with the state, with yourselves, there will come a time where it won't matter. And where you'll have to die for whatever you've chosen.
Okay.
And he turns and he continues to leave.
Zerk's doing a big inside check on that one.
Go ahead.
All right. This dice is heavy.
Yak ruffles some papers.
Oh, son of a...
Yak ruffles some papers. My alignment says chaotic good.
I don't have... I can't hold it. The dice. My hands are not dexterous.
box
He
is
is
shiny.
gone.
It's a needed shiny box. It is very true.
Mm. He'll take mental note of that. What he said. And he'll turn to retire back to his quote unquote quarters.
All right. As the door closes, Dusty, as the tension slowly deflates from the room, you kind of get a brief look, and you actually see on like a dresser,
Ooh.
on the side of the room, on a silver platter that's been laid on it, right in the middle, like resting on a silk napkin, is your iron flask.
Wait, how?
Switch it around and see if it feels like there's anything in it.
He's going to take it, shake it around a little curiously.
It feels like there's the slime inside.
How? How'd you do that?
I think he's already gone.
Magic Man! Magic Man, come back! Magic Man! Magic Man! Damn it! Where are all the cool people? Potentially evil.
At least they kept their promise.
I suppose I'll use the rest of this free time to see if I can start putting Blue back together. At least physically, until I can do the more intricate stuff.
How do I pet a slime?
Carefully.
You pet the flask and hope for the best.
I guess so.
Yark, give me an intelligence check.
Actually, I hear it's not universal solvent. It's
Sovereign glue.
No, oil of slipperiness.
Oh yeah.
You can touch acidic things with oil of slipperiness. You said an intelligence check?
Yep. Straight intelligence.
So if you cover your hand in oil of, you can pet a slime.
It's like coating your hand in water and then putting it in melted metal and then pulling it out.
Yes, but a little less dangerous.
I can't see anything wrong with this problem because then I'll have a metal hand with which to punch.
Back in my other campaign that had to do with like the abyss and madness and all that, we met a friendly gelatinous cube named Globagool, and we were trying to figure out ways to figure out ways to put a saddle on him, and we figured out the only way to do it would be with oil of slipperiness.
Make things a bit interesting. Where is my god dang? There it is.
I'm gonna go meet up with Noon, probably in his room.
All right.
I'm just gonna send you a picture. A very close-up screenshot. And that's all you're gonna get.
Can you put links in descriptions in Fantasy Grounds?
I don't know. Fuck you, Yark.
Dusty wants to get on the deck of the ship. Dusty.
This is a very, very close screenshot.
That is, yeah. Well, it's on a big monitor, and I zoomed in a lot to make it big.
Hey Dova, can I have the rest of that image?
No, actually, I think you already have it. You have access to it right now. I believe.
I
I'll give you a hint after the sessions.
Okay, understood.
Okay.
We're wrapping up now, right?
Yeah. As the airship continues on, Dusty, you want to go outside on the flight deck?
Yes,
I was
he
going to
did.
use modern terms because it makes it simpler and easier.
Yes, we all know what the flight deck is.
Okay. You open up the door, and you don't see the first officer there at all.
He will step out.
All right. The ground feels very solid beneath your feet, and you can feel a little bit of wind buffeting around you, but it's not very strong. At this point, it is. It would be late evening, actually, and the air has a very distinct nippiness to it.
He tries to follow the wind because he has a singular goal. He wants to see them big air elementals.
All right. The buffeting wind is coming from kind of this large cutout way above you as the air passes over you. It kind of rejoins the rest of this gigantic wing at the far end of this flight deck, and it's about 100 feet by 150 feet, longer than it is wide. But kind of heading out, you eventually get to a point where you're starting to get even with the surface of the wing. You're kind of out near the end of the even what feels like and actually looking down, you'd notice that it is a very, very tightly packed, dense wood. Very, very coarse to the touch. You're basically getting a lot of grip out of it.
It's like they made this. It's like they made it like this on purpose.
And you're seeing just in front of you, just to the left and down a bit, you're starting to see the outer ring of this just torrential. It sounds like a waterfall of the air elementals even.
Huge excitement.
Even from this distance, you can feel the waves, the concussion waves beating into your chest. The air elementals themselves vibrating and cracking.
Yeah! Sky God!
It is a sight to behold.
Can't you speak to it?
He can.
This can only end well.
This can only end very well.
Of course, this can only end well. He is yelling in Oren. Yeah! Sky God!
There are no possible negative consequences.
So you want to talk to it?
He yells Sky God in Aaron.
Well, yeah, he was yelling in excitement in Oren. Yeah!
All right.
Sky God!
And then the air elemental just goes, help us.
You don't hear anything back.
The magic curse needed someone to speak to us first to break free. Now you're free.
Oh no, I've ruined many things again. Oh, I'm grounded. Oh, I'm double grounded this time.
My scales puff up. What did my son do?
No, you can already feel it because he is next to the giant air element. It was like, what's my son doing right now? What's next? He will try to like crawl closer and yell at them like, "Hello! Hello!"
You're starting to feel the very nerve-wracking feeling of the wind starting to brush against your back. Every once in a while, a little buffet of wind will basically slam into you. You're getting the distinct feeling that if you fall off, you will probably not be able to catch back up.
That's fair. He's just gonna hold on tight though, because he cannot miss this chance to speak to possibly the greatest air elemental he's ever gonna meet in his life.
The only air elemental you'll probably ever meet in your life.
Now, that's pessimistic talk right there.
This is every winged person's dream. This is I just thought of it
You're-
now, but it's all I've ever wanted.
All right, anyone who recognizes the image, I just will understand what I mean.
Cling.
That's the bat that was stuck on the space shuttle.
Oh.
That's kind of what I reminded from here.
Yeah, it's basically what's happening.
He's basically yelling, You're giant and awesome and amazing! Why are you here?
No response.
No! I'm being ignored by the gods again! I'm being ignored. First Eds, and now you! Why am I forsaken?
Hey, Dusty, you probably shouldn't be out there.
Even if I'm ignored, this is incredible! It's the best version of sticking your head out a carriage window ever! It's the
A particularly strong wind bashes into you, and you are barely able to maintain your grip.
Okay,
Dust-
you're doing this on purpose. I'm
Dust-
50% sure.
Dusty, the universe itself is telling you to come back into the plane. Yark yells from the balcony.
I'll be back, and I'll bring Yark with me for some reason. and he'll grudgingly return.
All right. You return to the leeward side of the windbreak.
Windswept is putting it lightly for how he looks right now.
Very aerodynamic. Just hair entirely pushed back.
He is quite happy though. And he says, I'm never bathing again. I'm never bathing.
Yark will pat him on his shoulder and say, "We'll see what Zerth has to say about that, but okay."
I will fight him.
Starts walking with him. You will lose.
Well, maybe. Possibly. Very likely. But if I throw you at him and then run away, I can escape.
All right. Well, was that everything everyone wanted to do?
I guess so.
Not much for
Yeah.
Anun to do.
Yeah. Zerth was just gonna go talk to Anun. But that he
Oh
can.
yeah, there was that.
Yeah.
You want to do that now?
Yeah, we can do that now.
Yeah.
It's a tap on his door.
Quickly shuffles the pad away. Yes.
Can we talk?
Yeah, come in.
I'll step in. How are you doing, friend?
Doing okay. Just ready to get off the ship.
How do you? I'll be blunt. How do you feel about our luxurious captain right now?
Is not too great with words.
He is not.
Seeing how he just wants to drop us off, even though they've picked us up, he doesn't seem to be demanding or has any demands from us, nor does he want to recruit us. He just wants to get rid of us. So I'm not a fan of how words everything, but as long as he's staying out of our way, I could see to ignoring him. But if he continues some of his grandeur, crosses our path, then we'll deal with it.
Yeah. He seems very gracious right now, but his whole plan, as idyllic as it is, I find it disconcerting, to say the least. There's always something hidden.
War's been going on for hundreds of years, especially after this Great War, and he wants to end it in months.
Mm-hmm. And
People with
apparently
that thought.
we helped him.
Doesn't end well for the populace,
No, it does
as I've
not,
heard about
nor the
from the
innocent.
Elden Reaches.
I've seen enough tyrants in my lifetime to know, even if they mean and have good intentions, very seldom ends out that way.
He's they have great numbers behind them at this point, so all we can do is observe at this point.
Yes. We'll keep an eye out, ears to the ground. I say when we get a chance and find a place of extensive knowledge, we do some bigger deeping on these arcanic machines.
Curious about the undead they have, but as it comes to machines and more technology, I'm not at all familiar with that. We would have to enlist Yark in order to help us out with that.
Yes. But Inzerf will just smile and go, it seems like our adventures are just beginning.
Yeah, they even heading out as far as the Moorlands, it seems like the gods are wanting us to have something to do with what's going on. We couldn't be left alone from it there, then somewhere.
And I do find it disconcerting that out of the entire Mournland, regardless of where we're at, that they just happen to be flying by and finding us. I can't shake this feeling that they're watching.
Well, it was about the third time or fourth time that had to have been specifically watching us. No doubts that they stumbled across us. Wasteland.
Yes. The first time I can chalk it up to a random occurrence. Second or third, not so much.
But if they're just letting us get off their ship and not trying to hold us, then I can see past that. But if all of a sudden there seems to be some reason why we must continue going with them or why we can't go, then we may not be able to talk about it afterwards, but at least we're on the same page.
Yes. I say for now, we go about our business. Keep a strong eye out for such occurrences. And just be aware of possible encounters.
Be sure to keep up appearances on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Show some gratitude towards them. Wanna
Yes.
see it. Because captain that we spoke to did not want to answer any of my questions, so
Yeah. And he seemed
something
to be
shadowy about this organization.
in the way of words. Just does not sit right on my scales. But for now, I agree. We'll be polite and kind until we get back to town. It's at least, as he says, with a little bit of disdain, the least we can do for them bailing us out. and then he'll get up to go to his bed. Be well, my friend.
Yeah. And on noon, I'll go back to relaxing, trying to make up from how drained the Moorlands made him.
Yeah.
As Zerth, as you re-enter your room, you see that that Dusty is I don't know how you would react to this, Dusty, but you're currently being sprayed with a constant stream of just spritzed water. You don't know where it's coming from, but you were jumping on the bed a little bit, and something inside you shook up with the dragon shard, and you're just getting spritzed from every direction all at once.
Stop! Why?
Is there a undead servant around?
There is a maid currently dusting one of the paintings off.
I know exactly how Siddle would react. Turn around and walk back out.
He's gonna go look to the maid and say, you wouldn't have to have some cigars on this vessel, would you?
Oh, of course, it's in the study. What kind would you like?
A strong brand. I appear to have a evening show to attend to.
Very well. I'll go grab something robust.
Thank you. As he goes in, he's gonna watch this.
All right. And as about there, I think we can probably end.
Dusty's gonna throw his spear at him.
You wanna roll through the attack, or are you just gonna half-heartedly toss it?
No, he's getting spritzed from every direction. He's not thinking right now, and there's something he's angry at right now for watching.
It says you're out of ammo.
Sorry, I checked it and then I grabbed the dice. That's not how it works.
It's at disadvantage, but that doesn't matter. As his spear, he just chucks it, and it thunks into the floor about a foot from your right leg.
I assume the maid comes back with the cigars.
Yeah, she arrives at about this time, knocking politely at the door.
I'll answer it. Give a hearty thanks. Light one up and take a deep breath, and just, if there's a chair in the room, he's gonna sit back in the chair and just take a long drag and watch his son get tormented.
All right, we can definitely end there. We'll continue this next week. We'll see if he can stop the constant attack.
All right, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us for Echoes of Eberron Dungeons and Dragons. We will be back next week with more. I will be back tomorrow with Tales of Miraleth Dungeons and Dragons. I hope to see you all here for that. Thank you to my patrons, donators, and subscribers. Because of you guys, I am able to continue making this content. Thank you to the new follows tonight. If you guys are still there, I really appreciate it and hope to see you guys again. And also check out our website, zgfgaming.com. We've got links to all sorts of places, as well as merchandise available on the channel that you can get Z coins to influence the game. Like the spritzing there, that was an influence. Yeah, thanks for joining, and I bid you all a very fond adieu. Good night, Power Stone. Good night, Anir. Good night, Kraden.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, have a good night.
Hey, Trent.
Come on. Oh.
Stop it.
No, that wasn't very good. You gotta do it again.
Oh boy, I'm muting myself.
Good night, guys.
Good night, everyone.